I'm Mendi Corcoran. I'm the president of the Faith Always Wins Foundation, and we produce 7 Days Make a Ripple, Change the World. We're here to welcome you to You Day. And with me here today is Prakya Kakumanu. She's a member of our Kindness Youth Leadership Team.
Hi, I'm Prakya. I'm a member of the KYLT and a junior at Blue Valley North.
Our Kindness Youth Leadership Team is a program that's part of our 7 Days Make a Ripple, Change the World experience. And each of our events has youth associated with them, and they're on a team putting together each of our themed days. Prakya, I'd like you to tell us, what have you enjoyed about putting You Day together?
I've enjoyed working with my co-chairs Kayla Rorvig and Emma Sandler and our other committee members.
That's awesome. So we could not put You Day together or any of our 7 Days Make a Ripple, Change the World without our sponsors. We want to give out a big thank you to all of the sponsors this year. This is our 7th annual 7 Days Make a Ripple, Change the World, and without you, we couldn't be here. Thank you so much.
And we want to especially thank our partner cities. You help us make a ripple and change the world.
During our You Day program, you'll see that we're going to feature 2 of our 14 charities. Metropolitan Organization to Counter Sexual Assault, which is also known as MOXA, and Operation Breakthrough. We're about to join You Day. Prakya, what are we about to see?
We're going to be joined by Sources of Strength for an interactive session, a stretching session with Mendi Eskew, and Cynthia Alice Anderson will guide us through some breathing exercises that will focus on mindfulness.
This sounds like it's going to be a great event. Taking care of you.
Thank you, Mendi and Prakya. Good morning. My name is Dani Welniak. I'm the sports director at KCTV5, and I'm pleased to be your host for the You Day event this morning. 7 Days is close to my heart because of what it stands for. Love, togetherness, and a commitment to kindness is how we can each make this world a better place. Now, every time I walk onto the news set or walk out the door, I continually remind myself, my family, and even my coworkers that every action we take, no matter how small, makes a ripple and can change the world. We begin You Day by learning about the 7 Days Button Contest winners. Each year, 7 Days has a button art competition where high schoolers from across the metro have the opportunity to submit a button design that represents one of the 7 days. This year's You Day button design winner is Rebecca Hartwig, a senior at Lee Summit West High School.
Rebecca Hartwig. I am a senior from Lee Summit West High School. I won the 7 Days Art Button Competition, the You Day button. What prompted me to participate in the competition was that I really liked the different days. I wanted to figure out how to represent all those ideas into art, and I thought that was an interesting challenge for myself. What inspired for the You button was, especially this year, I think a lot of people have been really stressed, and so I took the idea of kind of relaxation and focusing on yourself, and I had water be part of my button to symbolize that kind of calmness and being more tranquil with yourself, so I had people lying in water to represent that. I have been really interested in how art can communicate with other people, and I am inspired to discover more ways on how to communicate with people through art. I can spread kindness. I think this might be cliche, but through small acts. I think by doing small acts of kindness, it can definitely move forward through like a wave of people.
Sources of Strength is a best practice youth suicide prevention project designed to harness the power of peer social networks to change unhealthy norms and culture, ultimately preventing suicide, bullying, and substance abuse. Their mission is to prevent suicide by increasing help, seeking behaviors, and promoting connections between peers and caring adults. Sources of Strength is in numerous high schools across the metro area. Today, we're going to hear firsthand from high school students on the different ways that they care for themselves based off of the Sources wheel.
I guess sometimes I just have to put things that I need to do aside and do things that I want to do, like maybe go for a walk or go spend some time with my dog or my cat. Maybe take some time, read a book, or watch something on Netflix.
I take care of myself by making sure that I run, and I like to run with my friends a lot because we're just really goofy and we talk about funny stuff on runs, and I love it. I look forward to it every day.
I like to take care of myself by doing art. It's really therapeutic for me. So like sometimes it'll be like 11 p.m. and I'll just start painting because it's like really nice for me to relax. And I also like to just drive to nowhere in particular. I waste a lot of gas, but it's really fun.
I take care of myself by doing the things that are hard for me to do. For a lot of different reasons, like eating is hard for me, keeping my physical health up, exercising. I'm really good. I've gotten to a point where I'm good at keeping my mental health okay. But physical health is something that I've always struggled with. So I've been trying recently, at least, to take care of myself, like my body, and not just my brain.
I don't really remember the last time I actually took care of myself. I'm gonna be honest. But if I had to say anything, I know this is super weird because I'm a guy and everything, but sometimes it's just nice to sit down and cry for a while. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, yeah.
To take care of myself, I like talking to people. It's my favorite thing in the world. People just have so many good stories.
So I take care of myself by just giving myself time alone and balancing it with time I spend with friends. I like to work on puzzles, draw, anything to just distract myself from everything going on. Just sleeping a lot, especially. Yeah.
How do I take care of myself? Really, I'm not the best when it comes to taking care of myself, but I feel like one of the ways that I can take care of myself is being around others. Social outlets are very, very helpful to me, but ever since COVID has started, that's just been completely cut off, and it's really harmed me. And it's just hard to, take care of myself when one of the main things that helped me, it is gone. I also like to listen to music sometimes and stuff like that. I usually just think a lot, I guess. 'Cause I've got nothing better to do. I'll just stay at home and think. I'll think, and I think, and I think. And that's about it.
When I think about self-care, there are many things that I think about, but I think the first thing that we have to do is address the need that we need to take care of ourselves, because in our society, we just have a strong need to help the people in our world, and to make ourselves feel better, we help them, but we don't address enough that we need help ourselves, and if we don't help ourselves, it will just get worse.
7 Days chooses to partner with 14 local charities every year to show our followers examples of the good things going on in our community. Our hope is that you might find a charity that you're interested in supporting. We'll be highlighting 2 local Kansas City charities. First up, Operation Breakthrough, and then after our yoga session, you'll learn more about Moxa.
Hi, I'm Mary Esselman, and I'm the CEO at Operation Breakthrough. Our mission at Operation Breakthrough is to provide a nurturing, safe educational environment for children in poverty and to empower their families through education, advocacy, and emergency assistance. One of our biggest needs right now is obviously support for families. With the pandemic, we've had a lot of families that are really struggling, not only in terms of food insecurity, but also in terms of rent and utility assistance. There are lots of ways that families can help right now. Everything from dropping off something for the pantry, whether it's staples like pasta or fruits and vegetables, both perishable and non-perishable right now obviously are important. The other ways that people can help are giving a helping hand in the pantry or in our warehouse, helping with donations. We also have a program where you can support children through digi-tutoring if you want to do something more personal and make sure kids are on track in their reading and mathematics. So lots of ways to get involved, as well as to just provide those direct, concrete supports that families need in the pantry. If you are interested in volunteering, you can go directly to the website, and there's actually a tab that says, "How can I help?" So not only does it have our wish list for things that are needed in the classroom and the pantry, but it also shows how you can volunteer if you'd like to actually give us some time.
As we're spending more and more time sitting at our desks and computers during the day, we need to make an effort to just get up and move. Mendi Eskew is a yoga teacher, fitness and outdoor enthusiast, wife, and mom to 3 boys. After taking her first class in 2001, Mendi fell in love with yoga and knew that she wanted to share her passion with others. She completed yoga teacher training in 2013 and has been teaching ever since. She's inspired each day by many things, but mostly by people, love, gratitude, movement, challenge, stillness, community, ambition, and contentment. Mendi teaches with a fun and energetic intention to guide her students to feel stronger and more open in their body and their mind. Join in with Mendi as she walks us through a yoga routine that everyone can easily fit into their daily routine.
Hi there, I'm Mendi Eskew. Thank you so much for joining me for this yoga session. Today I'm going to lead you in a very easy practice to just free up some tension and tightness in your shoulders and your hips and in your spine. We'll get the spine moving in all 6 directions that it freely moves in, so we can trade that feeling from feeling sometimes stuck and tight to feeling full of ease and openness. So let's begin in child's pose. So coming to the mat here, you can bring your toes together, take your knees out wide, and then drop your hips to your heels. Slide your arms out straight, look forward, inhale. And then as you exhale, just melt your heart and your forehead down to the mat. Once you feel your forehead grounded down, let your shoulders soften. Close down your eyes. Allow your mind's attention to be that on the breath. As you inhale, breathe into the perimeter of the back, into the shoulders, into the hips, filling up. And then as you exhale, soften through the front side of the body, specifically the space in and around your heart. Keeping the eyes closed, we're better able to think less and feel more. Finding a rhythm where your inhalation and your exhalation match exactly in length and duration. And child's pose is such a great place to come to, especially if you're feeling any tension or stress, where you can literally like turn your back against anything and everything that's not serving you. And you can keep your gaze within to that inner peace center that we all hold within. Let's take about 5 more breaths as we are in this shape. Good. One more inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, slowly, gently make your way up to a tabletop position. Draw your knees in so your knees become hip widths apart and parallel. Grounding down through the 4 corners of your palms. On an inhale, lift through your hips, lift through your heart. Hug your shoulders back, press your heart forward. Feel that hammock shape in your spine. Take another inhale on this first one. And then exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tail. Ground down through the palms of your hands so we can stretch and expand through your upper back body a little bit more. Being intentional to soften through the back side of the neck. Take another inhale. And exhale. Now let's move with our breath. Inhale, lift your hips, your heart, look forward. And then exhale, curl round in. Tuck your chin, gaze towards your heart. And then now just let your body move rhythmically to the beat of the breath. Coming in and out of this cat-cow. Massaging through the spine and opening up through the shoulders and the hips. And massaging through the abdominal muscles, your internal organs. Take 2 more rounds just like this. So on your next inhale, inhale into a neutral spine, flat back, shoulders over your wrists. Keep your left palm down. On an inhale, take your right arm and reach it up to the sky, opening up through the upper back into the chest. Look up towards your right thumb. Inhale, and then as you exhale, take your right hand, thread it under your body, and tap your left shoulder. Good, and then inhale, go right back up with the right hand. Inhale, reach. And then exhale, twist and tap. Good, twice more like that. Inhale, reach up. Good, and exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale, take it under and tap. Go ahead and reach your arm back up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, place your right palm back down to the mat. Let's do the second side. Grounding through your right palm. Inhale, left arm goes up, reach high. And then exhale, twist and tap. Tap your right shoulder. And again, inhale, reach up. And exhale, twist and tap. Let's go again. Inhale, reach high. And exhale. This time, left arm goes up to the sky, reach up. And then exhale, lower your left palm down. 1 more round of cat-cow. Inhale, lift your hips, your heart. And then exhale, curl round in. Tuck your chin, tuck your tail. Stay in this rounded position. Let's flip all 10 toes under. Ground down through the palms and lift your hips to the sky. Lower your heels towards the mat. Look between your inner ankles. Feel yourself pressing the palms of your hands into the mat so we're like pushing up and away from the earth, so we don't feel weak in our shoulders and our wrists. Lift your hips as high to the sky as you can. And then as you exhale, feel your breath lengthening through the hamstrings into the calves, dropping your heels closer to the mat. Downward facing dog is so great as it stretches the entire body. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. Good. And you're welcome to start to pedal out your knees here. If you're walking the dog, it's actually what this is called. And we get that stretch into the hips, the glutes, hamstrings. Good. And now as we walk the feet, or we pedal the knees, let's walk our toes closer towards our hands, walking to the top short edge of our mats. Once we get there, big toes to touch, bring your hands to your shins, lift up halfway with a flat back, and I want you to look forward off the tip of your nose. We'll draw our shoulders back, drop and press your sternum, your heart forward. One more inhale. Think flat back here. And then exhale, fold in half, soften belly, soften knees. Inhale, lift up halfway with a flat back again. And then exhale, fold. Bend your knees. I want you to go ahead and have a seat. Lower all the way down to a seated position. Extend your legs out long. With your legs your feet at the top short edge of your mat, lower all the way down to your backs. Take your arms up and alongside your ears. Give yourself a full body stretch. Stretch and flex everything with all your might. Inhale. And then exhale, soften with a sigh. All right, let's go ahead and bend our knees one at a time. Place your feet flat to the mat. Lift your hips up just enough to lower your sacrum, your low back flat to the mat so your low back is supported. From here, inhale, let your right leg lift up to the sky. Flex your foot, inhale, exhale, place your right outer ankle on your left thigh. And then open that right knee up so you're creating kind of like a figure 4 shape. Then from here, pick up your left foot and take your hands and interlace them behind your left thigh. And then draw your left thigh in towards your chest as you feel your right knee drawing away from you. Great way to stretch out through the glutes, the hips. And then loop the shoulders down and back so your upper body stays nice and relaxed. Let the work be where it needs to be in the hips. Feel free to close down your eyes. And continue watching the movement of the breath. Inhale, filling up your diaphragm as if it were a balloon. And then exhale, softening. Breathe in. And out. Go ahead and take about 5 more breaths as you are. Nice job. One more inhale here. And exhale. Open your arms to a wide T. Palms face up. Now take your right leg and cross it over the left and slowly let your knees lower to your left side. Once your knees are over to the left, take your chin over your right shoulder. Keeping the palms facing up will help soften through the shoulders. Close down your eyes and stay with this spinal twist. And if this irritates your knees at all to have your legs crisscross like this, no problem. Please uncross and stack your right knee over the left and then let those knees soften accordingly. Especially in a twisted position, really be intentional with that diaphragmic breathing. Breathe in, fill up and out. And then exhale, soften. Take 2 more breaths here. And exhale. Now slowly draw your knees back up to center. We'll uncross the legs, press down through your feet and square up your hips, level off the sacrum again. And then from here, the left leg goes straight up to the sky. Inhale. And then as you exhale, place your left outer ankle on your right thigh and then draw your left knee open, getting that external rotation on this left hip. Now pick up your right foot and clasp your hands behind your thigh. Feet are flexed, draw your right thigh into your chest. Left knee draws away from the shoulder. And then again, be sure to relax through the shoulders, the jaw, close down your eyes. And knowing that yoga, the word yoga means to yoke, which means to come together, connecting mind and body through breath. So without the breath, you're just doing some great stretches. But if you want the true magic of this practice to happen, then it's the breath that we stay committed and focused on. Let's take 2 more breaths in the shape. Inhale. Now exhale, release your arms open to a T. Take your left leg and cross it over the right, and then slowly, gently take your knees over to your right side, rolling to your right upper hip and thigh. And then take your chin over, this time your left shoulder. Be intentional to soften through the chest space, the shoulders. And again, if your knees don't really love this cross-legged position, please stack left knee over the right. Now all that's left to do here is breathe. Let's go 3 more breaths. One more inhale. And exhale. Slowly bring your knees back up to center. Uncross the legs. Again, stamp down through the feet to level off your hips. From here, let's bring our arms down and alongside your body. We're going to go through a moving meditation with lifting our hips and our arms, working with our breath. So press down through your feet. On an inhale, lift your hips and your arms both. Arms float up and alongside your ears. And as you exhale, lower both your arms and your hips down. We'll do this several more times. Inhale, lift your hips, lift your arms, your hearts. And then exhale, lower down. Feel those feet pressing against the mat. Inhale and exhale. Keep moving just like this, cultivating energy and space. Let's do 3 more. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Nice job. Last one. Inhale, lift. Let's hold right here. Hold. You're welcome to lift your heels if you want a little stretch to the tops of the feet. Feel your knees hip widths apart and parallel, so you can put it up an imaginary yoga block in between your thighs. Make sure those knees stay aligned with the hips. Hold here with your breath. Breathe in for 5. Keep lifting your hips and heart. Hold for 4. Hold for 3, 2, and then 1. Lower your hips, your arms, your heels down to the mat. Now open your knees out really wide and then seal the soles of your feet together, coming into a little butterfly type shape. Arms alongside can come alongside your ears, reaching for opposite elbows. This is a great way to open up through the hips. You can stay here as long as you would like. And with the arms overhead, you're relaxing through the shoulders, eyes closed, and just hold this shape with breath. Good, and then I'll let you decide how long that you want to hold this position. Clearly, the longer you hold it, the more release that your hips will feel as we hold emotional and physical tension in our hips. So just such a sweet way to just let it go. For the sake of our video, we'll be here for about 5 more breaths. Nice, 1 more inhale. And then exhale. From here, extend your legs out long and mat widths wide. Let your feet flop open wide, which will help soften through your hips. And then reach your arms up alongside your ears, big stretch. And then exhale, float your arms down and alongside your body. Turn your hands, your palms to face up, which will help soften through your shoulders. So for many yogis, this is the best part of the yoga practice. It's Shavasana. This is the part where we allow our bodies to go completely still into a state of just being, absolutely not wasting time by doing nothing. This is like that opportunity, like we charge our cell phones. This right here is where we charge through body, through mind, via stillness. Let go and just be. Let's slowly and gently begin to wiggle our fingers and our toes, bringing awareness back to body and breath. And this pose for yogis represents, it's actually called corpse pose. And it really represents an opportunity to let go of anything and everything that's not serving you in a way that fills you up. Letting those bad habits and bad ways essentially die off, if you will. And then from here, we bend our knees and roll over to right or left side into a fetal position, a place that is viewed as a new beginning, a fresh start towards that path of enlightenment, that path that we know to be good and to be great. Take another inhale. And exhale, using your top hand to lift you up. Together we'll come to a seated position with our legs crossed. And together sharing a final inhale as one. We'll reach our arms out wide. Inhale, reach high. Palms together, exhale, thumbs to the heart center. Bow your head to look within your heart. As you look within your heart, what you see is your light filled with your love, your kindness, your compassion. Use those gifts you've been given and make this world an even better place. Be the reason someone smiles. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you so much.
I'm Cassie Sands, and I am the Vice President of Development at MOXA. MOXA is the Metropolitan Organization to Counter Sexual Assault, and we serve the 6-county Kansas City metro area, and we've been around for 45 years. Our mission is to improve the lives of those impacted by sexual abuse and sexual assault, and to prevent sexual violence in our community. We spread kindness in every aspect of the work we do. Really showing up and being there to support people when they have gone through one of the most traumatic events in their life. Really helping people find themselves again after going through that kind of trauma. I think helping people take care of themselves and feel empowered and strong again I think that's big. I also think one of the most impactful things that we do in spreading kindness is being out in schools and helping kids understand how to stand up for themselves, how to become leaders, how to take care of each other, how to be kind to each other, how to respect other people's boundaries. I think that's a big piece of what we do in our education and prevention work as well. I would say right now our biggest need is financial support. Any size of a gift is really impactful for us. Really $5 to anything somebody is able to give. When the community comes together like that to share support for survivors, it really means a lot to us as an agency and to survivors in the community. The other big need that we have is volunteers. So a lot of our work, because we respond to hospital calls when a survivor has gone to the hospital to receive a forensic exam, or to get support, we have to have a lot of volunteers available to show up, go, and provide that support. So I encourage people to check out our website. It's moxa.org, and get more involved.
Cynthia Alice Anderson guides people to grow, prosper, and evolve. Her engaged and dynamic teaching inspires her audiences to live from authenticity. She's helped tens of thousands of people live their best life through motivational speaking, educational courses, and one-to-one coaching. A successful founder and host of the podcast channel Experience of the Soul, Anderson has authored 4 books. She delivers specialized and accessible curriculum focused on personal growth and soul development. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your day, and hopefully we all leave this place with the mindset that we can each change the world. Enjoy the next 25 minutes as Cynthia takes us through a teaching session on the mind-body connection and how that relates to spirituality.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Alice Anderson, and I'm presenting today on spirituality and mindfulness. I'll give you a few words of introduction, and then we will try some breathing practices and some mindfulness practices together. I honor you, first of all, for taking time in your day to focus on you a little bit. I think when we are loved and cared for by ourselves, then we go out into the world as much, much better people. And I also honor 7 Days for putting the event together, and I'm happy to be a part of it. So spirituality is an important aspect of life. Whether you are Christian, Buddhist, or Muslim, I honor you on your journey. My background is varied spiritually, and I will let you know that although I am ordained as a minister, my background includes Native American spiritual practices because I'm also Cherokee Indian. My background includes working with meditation teachers and spiritual leaders of several different faiths. So I honor all faiths. And in this work that we're going to do together, this work today is about bringing together really all aspects of the self, the mind, body, and soul. And each of us is a spiritual being. I love to say that we are spiritual beings living in a spiritual universe that is governed by spiritual laws. And for each one of us, we are spirit, we are soul, we are body. That's how I think of it. The mind being included in the body, that we are spirit, soul, and body. So as we seek to grow, as we seek to become conscious beings, as we seek to live from kindness, there is work to be done on every level. There's work to be done on every level. And so what is that work? Well, the work is to, in fact, become more conscious, which means we want to become more aware of the things we say, the things we do. We want to be conscious that our words and actions have impact. And the truth is, our words, our actions, they even carry with them on a very etheric level, a vibrational reality. Often, quantum physics comes to mind when I think of how intimately related we are with everything that is. And I think we often lose sight of that. So my work today is to help you become more conscious. And one of the key ways to do that, no matter what your religious beliefs, is to simply breathe. Now you may be saying, well, I breathe all the time. Yes, you do. And I noticed as I said the word breathe, I had a new energy right away, because suddenly I was pausing, I was breathing, and I was becoming more aware of my breath. Well, very recently, I've been working with several individuals. I do a lot of work one-on-one, and I work I teach courses, and I work with large groups as well. And many people I've talked to over the last year, especially during the pandemic, have been in fear. Now, fear is a very human emotion. We certainly all have it. We all have had it, and we will have it again. So the question becomes, how do we, as human beings, as spiritual souls trying to wake up, how do we deal with fear? Well, there are several ways people deal with it. One is to pretend it isn't there. So denial, that's a popular one. Another way we deal with it is we run, which is a type of denial, but it's more actively denying what's happening. So pretending it isn't there, running from it, at least then we see it, but we say, oh no, I'm not doing this time. Or we get stuck in our thoughts so much we start making up stories about what's really happening based on that fear. So as human beings, this is normal. This is normal. And what happens to most of us if we hit fear is that we are drawn back to our family of origin when we were growing up. All the ways we learned to cope and learn to give and receive love. And then we start making stories up about what's happening right now instead of being in the present moment. So what I'm saying is we actually begin telling ourselves untruths pretty unconsciously. So when we hit fear, we can run, we can deny, we can pretend it isn't there. We can also do what I call going into collapse. Collapse is just when we just sit and cry and do nothing. Now, there's nothing wrong with crying. As a matter of fact, I highly recommend it because it is a beautiful form of emotional connection and release. But if we go into collapse and we're not able to move out of that, that can become dangerous because it can move into depression and such as that. So why am I talking about all this? Well, I'm talking about all this because our work together is going to be about becoming more conscious. In other words, conscious of our thoughts, conscious of our reactions, conscious specifically of our fear. So how do we deal with fear? Well, one of the first aspects is to remember and to realize fear is a part of the curriculum. Fear is a part of being human, and so rather than fearing fear, which is a funny thing to say, but we all do it. So instead of being in fear all the time, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? We learn to feel the fear, but then we let it pass on through. We don't wallow in it. We don't stay in it. And the best way I know to deal with fear is to breathe. Most of us, when we were growing up, we learned to breathe very shallow. And let me back up and say, when you were born, the first thing you did upon entering the mortal world was to breathe. And it will be the last thing we do upon leaving this mortal world. As we leave this world, the last thing we do is we take one final breath. So breathing is a sacred practice. It's so sacred that it's even in the Bible, and I'm sure it's in other holy scriptures as well. As a matter of fact, every major world tradition, including tribal customs, include some aspect of deep breathing to reach a different state of consciousness. So we want to learn, how do we breathe either through and or past the fear? Growing up, most of us learn to breathe very shallow, what I like to call the chest breathing. It's when you're driving down the road and somebody pulls out from front of you and you go, that's like a stress breathing, right? And it's really meant for really scary situations. Well, if you grew up in a home where there was physical violence, where there was neglect or abuse of any kind, excuse me, if you grew up in a home like that, then you learn to walk on eggshells, especially if there was active addiction in the home. And anytime you're learning to walk on eggshells, anytime you're learning, and it's a formative time in your life, then you learn this kind of breathing. And what happens, because we learn to live life that way and we learn to cope that way, is we take this type of breathing out into the world, and we think this is how it is. Well, what's so amazing is when we breathe like that, what's so amazing is that we're telling our body, we're sending cortisol coursing through our veins, all our adrenal glands light up, and pretty soon we are in a state of utter emergency, just being with our families or walking down the street or going to the store. And these activities should not include this level of fear. So again, how do we move through fear? We breathe. We learn to breathe. So right now, right where you are, I feel I should share with you that as I said, breathe, my dog that's about 3 feet away took a deep breath and he went, I think that's wonderful. So let's do that. My dog was teaching me a lesson. Let's take a breath together where we just go like a deep cleansing breath. How does that feel? Let's do that 3 times. One more. How does that feel? I notice after 3 breaths, it feels a little better. When we can move the breath past the chest and into even the diaphragm and even lower, believe it or not, this type of breathing helps connect. It helps connect all the body so that all of the spine, all of the chakras, all of the holiness of who you are in the body is completely connected. So when we breathe, what I try to do is to take a deep breath in, and I'm breathing from the lowest aspects of my body, and then I breathe back out. And what I've noticed is that when I can breathe deeply I have a friend that says 20 seconds, then I can get out of fear pretty quickly. If I'm in deep fear, I know that 50 deep breaths is a powerful way to move through any fear. What I've discovered is that none of my fears can survive 50 deep breaths. So right now, what we're going to do, I'm going to look at a timer, and we are going to take some deep breaths for 20 seconds. It doesn't even have to be deep. Just breathe consciously. And what you're going to do, you're going to observe yourself breathing for 20 seconds. Just focus on the breath going in and coming out. And we begin our breathing now. And that was 20 seconds. How does it feel? How does that feel? I would imagine that it feels better. I would imagine that you are more centered and more at peace. What I've discovered about learning to stop and to breathe is that I can do that anywhere. I can do it in an airplane. I can do it sitting in a room full of family. I can do it alone on a rock outside or in a park or as I'm walking. Wherever I am, I'm breathing. And so if fear comes up or any other situation that's difficult to deal with, I know that I can simply breathe. Some might call this type of deeper breathing meditation. Some would call it mindfulness. All mindful means is that I'm aware of what's happening in the moment. So it's also a mindfulness exercise, simply to breathe. But the key is to observe yourself in the breath. So this time, when we breathe, I'm going to ask you to breathe a little bit deeper and try to extend, elongate the breath just a little bit more. And as you inhale, we're going to inhale. We're going to hold the breath for a moment, full, and then we're going to exhale. And when we exhale, we're going to hold a little bit there too. And the reason we're going to hold a little bit at the bottom of the breath and the top of the breath is because I want you to just feel and sense what it feels like to be totally filled and then totally emptied. And both of these are a really sacred practice and a really sacred place. So now we're going to begin. Again, we're breathing a little bit longer, a little bit deeper, and we're going to do this for 1 minute. Remember as you breathe to pause at the end of the inhale and the end of the exhale. And this is going to take great trust from you. So we will begin our breathing now. More seconds. And now your time is complete with that breathing exercise. So do you feel any different? What normally happens as the breath deepens is that the body relaxes a bit and the mind and the chatter of the mind begins to quiet. It begins to release that active thinking that we all do. Sometimes we're even thinking about thinking. Our mind gets so overbusy. So to be in our spiritual walk, many of us pray, and I have a very active prayer life. I have a very active meditation life. And what centers me most of all is breathing. And what I love about it is it completely bypasses the mind. I don't have to think about it. It's not based on any dogma or religion. It is simply based in me being a spiritual being having a human experience. So in your work, the goal is to remember that you are spirit, soul, and body, right? That the spirit of you is the unchanging part, that which is connected to all good. And that body is what houses the spirit and the soul, and that soul is your individual expression that you were designed to be, that individual expression that is meant to be divine and good and sacred and holy. So if you are dealing with, a tough situation or fear is beginning to come up, my encouragement to you is to breathe. Breathe. In my daily practice, I breathe 50 deep breaths every day. Excuse me. I breathe 50 deep breaths every day. And what I've learned is that the first 10 breaths, I fight it. And then between breath 10 and 20, I finally start to relax. And by the time I get to 30 breaths, I'm blissed out. And so from 30 to 50 is pleasure. That's heaven for me. Because I have no thoughts. I have no worries. I have no fears. I am simply breathing the breath of life. The breath of life. So I want to encourage you to use this in your practice. If all you do is 20 seconds a day of beginning to breathe, what it will do, it will take you out of reaction mode. It will get you out of this fear, which is based in this reptilian brain back here. And it will move you into the divine aspect of you. So this is my hope for you. This is my prayer for you, that you will begin to know your authentic spiritual power through the practice of the breath. So let's take one more minute now to breathe together. And I will end with some affirmative prayer as I affirm you and your process. And I bless you as you go throughout your day, and thank you for joining me. So we will now begin our 1 minute of deeper breathing. And remember, every breath out, every exhale is a releasing. Every exhale is a releasing. Every breath in is a baptism. Every breath out is releasing what no longer serves. Every breath in is a blessing. So let us now begin our 1 minute of breathing now. And now we did another minute of breathing. How do you feel? How do you feel? If this type of deeper breathing is new to you, it might help you to use both your hands. And what I love to do is put one hand on my stomach and one hand on my chest. And I know if as I'm breathing, the top hand moves, then I need to try to get that breathing move deeper into the body. It'll always move a little, but not like this. See the difference? Yeah. So, as life happens, dear friends, and it will. It's so important that we encourage kindness. I'm so happy to be a part of something that encourages kindness. Breathing deeply, using the breath as a part of our spiritual practice, brings us into the now moment. Every moment is a gift for us. Every moment is holy. So my encouragement to you is take time, even if it's just a minute a day, to breathe, so that you will remember your holiness. So blessings on the journey, dear friend. And know I'm happy to meet you, even if it's virtually. I'm happy to meet you, and I look forward to seeing you again. Many, many blessings on your journey.
Thank you for joining us for You Day. I know that I enjoyed it, and I hope that you did as well. Thank you also to our partner charities, Metropolitan Organization to Counter Sexual Assault and Operation Breakthrough. We appreciate the opportunity to learn more about each of them. Now I'm going to introduce you to Emma Sandler. She is one of our Kindness Youth Leadership team members, and she helped put together You Day. Emma?
Thank you, Mendi. 7 Days would like to thank you for attending today's event. Whether you participated in Mendi Eskew's stretching session, Sources of Strength's informational and interactive session, or you grew, prospered, and evolved with Cynthia Alice Anderson as she shared both her time and talent with us, we hope that you can leave today with a satisfactory feeling in both your physical and mental overall well-being. 7 Days YOU team would also like to thank our sponsors, whom we can't do this without. Please be sure to check your email for our survey link and provide us with helpful insight that can make 7 Days even better. Also, be sure to check out our website at give7days.org. Again, thank you for joining 7 Days in making a ripple and changing the world.